See, the thing is, I would like to treat each other, more nicely. Me as well, even though it's obvious that I treat you nicer than you treat me. I understand that you're compensating with these petty insults since you don't can't come up with, intellectual, clever riposts about the subject matter. So, still, we could both treat each other nicely, and I'd like to do that. I broached the subject through mentioning our friendship or a sense of colleague since we've discussed things for a decade now. And you said no, I was a lying, blah, 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 blah. But Gary, I'm not lying. I don't think I'm asking too much when I say that, if I presented you with false evidence, it's because I was duped, right? As a relativist, it seems that, you know, I'm correct. But I understand that from your point of view, as impossible as it is to understand, you think you're correct. And I like things that are difficult to understand, like how you think you could be correct. That seems impossible. So, you know, that's two positions, and we could both be more uh, on point about the subject. I don't even want to not have any insults. I don't mind you calling me phantasmagorical or whatever. You think waves or woo woo or whatever. But I certainly want to tell you how the speed of light works and not be called a liar because of how I honestly believe it works. Uh, I know that's not going to happen. There's probably not much more time in these exchanges. I mean, you seriously have gone off the deep end. You used to argue in a much more. Uh, there was a core there that was the reason we could forgive the outburst. Now the outburst has just taken over.
Interesting in the kookakery. No, no, I don't really want to analyze their stupidities, their psychosis. Hathaway obviously has some sort of bent to evade any acknowledgement of reality and pretends, he gets to be a fascist dictator and decide what is or what is not worth anything.
See, I find that a little bit hyperbolic. That I've been watching. I haven't watched all of your videos, but I've been watching his videos, um, fairly carefully, and I don't see him being a fascist to you. I see him disagreeing with you.
And the facts don't have anything to do with it because nothing has any factual properties. We all get to make them up. Humans are just so much more sensitive.
His questions about properties and the nature of that and an ontology and those sorts of questions, um, he doesn't use those to say nothing matters. You're saying that. You're making that shit up.
Sensitive and feeling creatures that we evolved in parallel with. That's just somehow an axiom we all get to accept because we're just fascist, self-loving.
No, he's talking a lot about this idea of agency, which is that question. The question of agency is why is there this matter that can suffer and whatnot? And you make light of that subject like it doesn't matter. And then in the same paragraph, you'll be talking about how this thing, well, the brains that suffer, that's all that matters. But you say the question of because the word agency, who knows what you think agency means? It's that. It's about those things that suffer. They do a lot of other things besides suffer too, but I'm talking to you in a language you can understand. It's the things that you think only suffer.
Disgusting bags of fucking fascist shit.
Often, often do end up being really.
I do have the volume all the way up, but it's really not cutting it, is it? I don't know what this is with these volume people.
And yeah, you can still resist from just taking them to just random, you fuck your dog kind of thing. It is important.
Okay, how is it important? So explain to me.
It's important because because the kind of geeky intellectual person that wants to talk about scientific ideas, science, what some of us call natural philosophy, doesn't make us liars. Um, those people do not want to be in an episode of South Park. That's not what they're there for. It's not what we're here for. This isn't what we came for.
how it's, I don't see how it's important at all. If you can use rhetoric like you should be embarrassed, or you need to study more, or you can insult people's intelligence.
You could say someone needs to study more, and that's the same thing as you fuck your dog. See, that's where you're mistaken, quite seriously mistaken. How far? Okay.
Insult the depth of their study, insult them in all kinds of different ways, and that's okay. But to say your shirt's ugly, oh, no, that's out of bounds. Fuck you.
Well, I don't really mind your shirt's ugly. I don't really mind a lot of these things because I don't take them seriously, and that's the point. You're not to be taken seriously because of it.
Ooh, really? Just fuck you.
People do that, they want to distract from what they're really saying. It's from their fear.
Yes, well, now he's going to play the, what is that, ever gaslighting or some sort of bullshit, right? I'm going to sit there and now create this straw man psychological analysis.
No, you do it to distract from whatever's going on. If somebody's making a good point, you go, but what does that have to do with explaining suffering on Earth? If somebody, misspells a word, you're like, oh, you misspelled a word, that word was spelled right.
And decide what it is that's really motivating them. Okay, go ahead and play the game. I'll play too then.
You've always played that game. You say I'm motivated by a desire to lie about the world.
Pedophile. Yeah. You want a phantasmagorical universe because you really want to play with children.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much Gary in a nutshell right there. And I think like the journeys of Odysseus, all things come to an end. Unfortunately, sanity did not win out in the case of Gary from in Mendham. So let's just leave with this. So sad. It really is sad. Okay, let me just do it this way. Oh, it is sad. Many years. I mean, I thought he would get better. That's my problem. I think insane people are going to get better because I got better from my insanities. But usually it doesn't work that way. This is from 2012, so we'd already talked about physics a lot. Gary, you're a strange one, making conversation in Mendham worldwide. When you need to take a nice vacation, all you gotta do is just step outside, hit a few balls, take a walk, not a ride, jump in a pool and then back inside. Got a lot of knowledge that you didn't get in college, but it's kind of strange sometimes. Got a lot of facts from National Geographic, circa 1979 or maybe 85. They just don't write them like they used to. You do know they still write them though, right? You might want to read a little Nature. Tell you about life, tell you about light, tell you what to do when you get uptight. That's advice that you need quite a lot, cause you really get bothered when your collar gets hot. Gary, you're a strange one, make a conversation in Mendham worldwide. When you need to get a nice vacation, all you gotta do is just go outside.